Welcome to UR Tech Partner, your ultimate destination for mastering AI and DevOps. Dive into the world of cutting-edge technology with us and unlock the secrets of artificial intelligence and development operations. Stay ahead of the curve and elevate your tech skills. Learn AI and DevOps with us today.
Hello everyone, welcome in another YouTube video in the DevOps series. Might be a last video in this DevOps series, but a very important video because in this tutorial we are going to implement a complete concept and complete learning of the DevOps in a single industry grade project. With industry grade, we means that some project which is assembled very carefully to include every concept this is most likely to be used or you're gonna face in the industry setting or industry level, which is near to real implications in the industry. For example, most of the time as a DevOps engineer, you have to or you will encounter these concepts in the end. So without wasting much time, let's get into it. Well, great. We are taking a concept of, let's say like that XYZ company here. And what's happening really here is that, let's shrink this a bit. Okay, so there is one company called ABC or XYZ company, hypothetical company is a leading store, let's say like that. It's a large offline business. They have different branches. And right now they have want to build a complete pipeline for analytics that how much we have sale in location A, location B, which item is running. So for example, they have developed some app for the internal team within the company. For the management, they have developed some Java-based application. This application where you click on the browser, this link of this application, this gives some analytics to them. Which product is in high sale volume today, which is in highly running item, which items are lag behind, some statistics, blah blah blah. So this is the hypothetical scenario we're creating. As you already know that for the DevOps engineering development is kind of indifferent, or this is not development doesn't make any role, doesn't play any role here, which essentially means that you are not a developer and you don't have to develop. Your task or your work starts after the development team has successfully developed a code, whatever it is, application, it is Python based, it is Java based, it's written JavaScript, React, whatever. When they write this application on their laptop, definitely Word doesn't know their laptop. It might be function there, but to make it function everywhere else, to deploy it everywhere else, and to seamlessly integrate the new changes and new deltas continuously and automate this process so that whatever customer they have, internal team or the external team, whenever they click on the browser abctechnologies.com, they could see the current development and update whatever developer, regardless where they are setting, whatever line of code they have added. It is continuously upgradable, showable, and perceive that changes, get that changes, and show you on the browser. So this is the main theme behind the DevOps engineering, that without losing any resources, without losing any value, without vulnerabilities, and without this danger that something get lost, some feature get lost, something corrupt, something not functioning, like you seamlessly integrate the new changes continuously with automation up to the browser from start from when some developer push the changes into the repository. But the thing is that there are a lot of stuff comes into the picture, like what is the scalability, what is the performance, what is the performance of the machine or the server where the application is running, what is the replica when there are 10 customer, what happen when there are 1000 customer, what happen, how it shrink and expand automatically to conserve the resources for the saving purposes, and how it's highly available so that for the 1 millisecond or 1 second it's not unavailable to the customer. So these are the topics normally come into the picture in the modern world of the DevOps. We'll go through very quickly. This video could be a little bit long, but bear with me, please. So this gives you as well a benefit to get the complete picture of the DevOps engineering task as well. So it is not something that gives you like complete expertise in the field, but it gives you an umbrella level overview that how normally task of DevOps engineering look like, what are the stages comes into the picture, and from the start from the writing the code up to the getting the code running, what are the steps in between. So let's get the feeling of this company. So company want to implement something continuous integration and continuous delivery or continuous deployment, which is the acronym the come from CI/CD. That's the more normally task of DevOps. There are different phases, so they want to actually build something from scratch. This whole tool, very simple. And let's start from the writing something. So how we are going to really do this? So we are going to do this by via the help of uh, creating a two virtual machine. We are going to use a virtual box because we could also use a cloud, Amazon cloud or any other cloud, but since this is costlier, sometimes you need to pay money, blah, blah, blah. We need to do some extra stuff, or let's say like that, we need to install some tools to efficiently work on the virtual machine, but it is not a big deal. We can install a couple of other tools to mimic or simulate similar to the public IP and AWS cloud benefits, and we could save some cost, and for that purposes, and this gives you a more control over your machine as well. So that's why we chose virtual machine. So what we are going to do in this tutorial, we are going to create two machine which are more than sufficient. My laptop configuration is a bit good, like I have 64 MB of RAM and I have NVIDIA installed, and processor is good, so that's why I can create this. So this is the master and this is the worker one. So this is the master, this is the worker one. So let's say like that, this is the development server. What we want to do is, so this is the development server or dev server, where we want to actually run our application. So definitely in the real world, would have nowadays in the current scenario, most of the companies have any cloud solution because it is economical, it is highly available, you don't have to take care of it. They are specialized in it, and this is highly secure, blah, blah, blah. This gives you some other benefit, like you can merge your own resources with cloud. This is the topic for the different day, but still you can do it. So nowadays, many companies are using the either Azure, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, or any other cloud like AWS Cloud is the number one. So let's say like that, we must have some server where we want to deploy our app. Other than that, we also need server for our continuous integration. This is normally a Jenkins server. Let's call it Jenkins server or master. So now the tool will be using is, let me just write here all the tools. We'll be using Jenkins for the continuous CI/CD. There are some other tools as well, like GitHub Actions, many more. I will discuss them someday else. But Jenkins is the very widely used right now. It is getting little bit less space, and some other tools are emerging like GitHub Actions because they gives a lot of flexibility and much more simplicity for this whole loop. But this is topic for another day. We'll be using Jenkins. We'll be using actually here the GitHub as a source code, also GitHub hooks to continuously monitor the changes whenever some developer pushes the code, so that GitHub hooks. We'll use ng-rock service to create actually public IP like our setup, because virtual machines are completely private subnet, which means that normally you use public facing IP addresses for your domain name. For example, www.mybeautifulfancyapp.com. For that domain, you always need something internet facing IPs, which we don't have right now, which also cost money. But what we are going to do, that we are using in ng-rock to create a tunnel for that. So that is the purpose. I am going to explain you everything in a bit. We'll be using actually here Ansible. Will be using Ansible is for the configuration management. To just give you a flavor that what is the purpose here. Normally the for that setup, what we are doing Ansible, without Ansible we can do this stuff, because why I am including the Ansible, so that I could give you for the sake of completeness of this picture, that Ansible is also there as a tool. This is configuration management tool. If you are using, for example, anything related to the cloud, then infrastructure as a code normally comes with Terraform, which is also, we don't cover this in this video, but I will give you a small overview. This is quite similar. This is also a configuration management tool, but not for a general purpose, for a special cloud. And what does that mean? I will also be explaining shortly, or briefly I will explain this too. So then we'll be using a Docker and DockerHub registry as well. We will be using actually Kubernetes as a deployment engine, to deploy our stuff there. And then we are going to use a monitoring tools as well, which is Prometheus and Grafana. So these are the stuff we are going to use actually in our setup, which are nowadays quite a standard for for this whole setup. Like you use Ansible, you use Docker, you use cloud, you use Kubernetes as a deployment engine, and you use Jenkins for the pipelines and Git for the source code. You can use any other technology if you want, so this is not a big deal, but just this is a standard we are using. So we'll be using this whole setup. So let us, without wasting any time, we can go to the VM box here, virtual box. I have already created a lot of stuff here. To save the time, I'm not going to create everything again from this scratch, but for sure I'm going to walk you through each and every step here. So this is the dev server. This is the server where our application is going to be, right? And for example, here, this is the master node where we will use Jenkins server or Jenkins stuff, right? So these two stuff we will be needing. You can just go to the Google, you can install Oracle VM Box, which is widely available virtualization software. What it does, it gives you a complete operating system. Regardless what operating system you use, it will give you a window or opportunity to install any window machine. Like it is Ubuntu, it is Linux, it is Red Hat, it is Windows, it is whatever. You can install it here. Please ignore everything else. We'll be using only these two for this tutorial purpose, and we'll be installing everything here. So first thing first, the first task for us to just install a Jenkins. So I'll be skipping mostly here the installation part, because installation part is a little bit time consuming, and it doesn't give much extra edge because I have a complete tutorial for each of these technologies, how you install, how you configure, how you do. So if you really want to get details, you can just go back to the playlist and see. But for now, I will assume that you have watched those or you figure this out by yourself, because installing is not that much difficult. A lot of great resources are available, but here our purpose is to see that how the pipeline works. Okay, go to here. Very quickly, meanwhile, it's going to work. Great, this is our server number 1, which we'll be using. And for the simplicity, we'll set simple password and everything. So here we'll be doing everything on Jenkins, right? Then we'll be needing the virtual code studio or any editor, whatever editor you like. So in our case, we are using this editor here. And for example, I'll be giving you simple use case where I have this industry scale Java product for ABC company here. Now I have taken some sample already, right? I have taken some sample already as a code because, for example, it is not very necessary that what is inside to just go you through or what it is. These are the file we have created or we will be creating later on, but this is just source here where actually main and test to stuff. This is the folder for target when you just compile stuff here, and we'll be creating this Docker file to deploy it on the Tomcat. Tomcat is a similar server to the Nginx or any Node.js. To just run this server, you need this server to run and to provide the Java-based application. For example, you need npm Node.js. So Node.js is nothing when you just hit Node.js name of your server, run Node.js, and what it is doing, it's running your JavaScript-based application or your React-based application. Similarly, for the Java world, it is a little bit different programming language, and they have different server. They have different web server, which is actually Tomcat in this case. So for the Tomcat, normally you need this dependency cycle. This dependencies, what it does, it's actually normally test your application against the vulnerabilities that the test is written, the function are working properly. This is always the task of development team. So they build this. Someone on the Java development team is going to do everything, right? So they are going to write this test so that their application is running fine development concept wise. If this application is running to write, for example, a plus b, then they need to test this that okay, a plus b is always a number, not a string. And when this test passes, it tells us this application is running perfectly fine. And then some compilation and building tool and mechanism. So this is not the job of DevOps engineer anyhow, but we are taking this sample lab from somewhere just for showcase purposes, which is good. The only thing that we need to go to the, so what I did very quickly, let me show you that what I did. I go to my personal GitHub, and I have created this repo, and I will be uploading everything, whatever changes. I will be portraying myself or pretend myself as a developer sometimes to write some code and add some code. And upload this. And as a DevOps engineer, I will be writing some YAML files here in the same repository, let's say like that, in the same branch, and I will be uploading this to mimic that multiple teams working on the same project, and whatever you push, let's say like that, it has some effect or automatically triggers some pipeline on the Jenkins, and the Jenkins does the work of every building and every stuff, creating the Docker image, blah, 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 and showing the ultimate change to the web browser. Okay, great. Without wasting more time, let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm using here actually so here I am actually, and I have I'm in the repository, and here actually this is the repository I have just created, and we'll be pushing always all the stuff here, right? So this is the tree structure, tree L2 maybe, level 2 maybe, or L2 maybe. So Dockerfile we need. This is source target. We deployment file are for the for the DevOps team here, and this is the main structure. If I go one step more, maybe it could give you some more stuff inside. So great. So here on the local machine for the Java product, you always need to compile your product. So what I will do, I have to install Maven on this machine and the Java with the JDK, which again is not a topic for today. To how to install JDK and Maven, you can go back to the playlist and see how you install this. But I assume here that Maven is already running, as you can see. And I also assume here that you understand that JDK or Maven version is always installed with Java. So what you do here is actually you just Maven build, Maven test, Maven package. So you run this command so that you get compile your application locally first. So let's do it first. So you could write Maven. Okay, we need to first cd into ABC technologies here, and we can write Maven compile. You don't have to worry about this thing that what's going on, because this is a normal setup for any kind of application which is uh, Java related, right? This is something to do with Java, right? You don't have to worry about that. Oh, what is going on here? Or what does that mean actually? And why you need to compile Java and Maven and stuff here. So this is just normal steps whenever you build any application in the in the world of Java. So you always do that. Then what next? You can write Java build. This is great. Then you can Java compile is build it, and Java package mean that it's going to create a target for you. Let's do once more Java package, right? MVN package here, MVNPSEK package. Okay, now and when we have done package, it's automatically run some tests. You could also do like a MVN test first and then package, but since the package already include test in the POM file instructed, okay, do some test, make sure that everything is running fine, and in the build success. Whenever you build it, and it's in the end gives you some target here as a var file here, as you can see. This is similar to the exe file, and this is something special to the Java here. But if you're building some project in non-compile based programming language, which is Python, you don't need to do this stuff. Okay, we are great here. What we do that just we git push, git add, git commit, adding .var file. Okay, you can commit it. When you commit it, your sync changes, and it's automatically goes to your source project, which is here, and it's going to show you some more changes, right? just now you can see these changes. So for up to now, everything great. And that's how we are going to link this GitHub. It could be enterprise GitHub, it could be a single GitHub to our Jenkins pipeline so that it gets everything as usual. Let's get back to our master here. It's ready. Give the password here. Cool, cool. So we have installed Jenkins here. We went here, we installed Jenkins here. And why we have done this? Because we need to do some stuff here. This is our master node, and here we are running over Jenkins. And if I go here and if I localhost 8080 is the port actually where our Jenkins server is running. Cool. What is going on here? The stuff which is going on here is that we have multiple different pipelines. These pipelines are automated or could be automated. I will be shortly showing you how. So essentially they are linked together. When one finishes, second starts, and this is complete automated process in the end. And which is also using Ansible as a in the background as a plugin to what it does. It is actually okay. What it does, it's actually creating this whole pipeline and pushing it to our dev server. Where is our dev server? It is not running right now, but we'll be going to run this shortly from the VirtualBox here. But first, so whatever we done locally, we can also do it on this job. But where from our code comes? This is interesting because right now we have code locally here and we can just write Maven package, Maven test, Maven compile, and it's going to compile. But right now we just push everything to our repository, and what we can do, we can build our final project here. We can go into the job. How you do that? You just go there, you add new item, you write the name, freestyle project here, and hit OK. When I hit OK, then I get this build job here. I click here, then I will see something here like that. I just write a small description, then we already have done this in Jenkins module. We have complete series of the video of the Jenkins. You know the Jenkins already. If you don't know basics of the Jenkins pipelines, you could go there. We have very extensive resources there. But here our purpose is to compile or get together everything. That's why I'm not going to the greater detail here in the source code management. But here actually I'm explaining this video in a way that if you just start from this tutorial, you could get maximum out of it and you make sense. So normally in the build pipeline, what you do is that you tell this what kind of project it is. This is not very necessary. Here we just click on the Git because we say that our source code live always Git. As you can see that I'm giving exact similar source code of my this file from here. Like I just copy paste here from my Git repository here. I made it public. That's why I'm not giving any credential here. For the branch, I'm not specifying, but for example, you can here always specify the branch DevOps for the DevOps task, and your source code will automatically get it. So here actually it says that how and when this job should be triggering. This is very important here. So I'm here telling it that please create a GitHub hook. Okay, very important, very great. But how you can hook a GitHub trigger here when actually you don't have any public IP on the virtual machine. So this is a specific problem or a specific problem to the virtual machine. if you would be in the Amazon, you could just pay a little money and you could just get a public IP, or maybe without paying money, you could just go to the public IP, or because it is random. And whenever you restart your machine, it's get new IP, but you could just buy a small public IP address, and this IP address is accessible from any internet, and you're good to go. But in our case right now, we are in virtual machine. We need some workaround here. So what is the workaround we have here? The workaround is that we could actually go here, host name. Okay, we have right now 47. This is our IP address. For the sake of completion, meanwhile, let's run our dev server. Dev server is nothing but a server we have purchased, for example, to run our application, for deploy our application. Cool, 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 cool. Our server is going to run here. Meanwhile, we set up the GitHub trigger. Let me show how you do it. So what you do is that you go here in your GitHub, and you go into your project repository, you go into this setting actually, you go into webhooks, and in the webhooks you edit, let me just edit something. Okay, I don't have anything right now. I need authenticator here very quickly. Authenticator, and where is my what's going on here? Okay. Okay. So the important thing is here is that whatever your normally web app is, where your Jenkins URL is, where your Jenkins server is, this is the name of Jenkins server where your Jenkins is living, and this path is kind of a fixed path which is must GitHub dash webhook slash. Keep make sure that this is this you have always done. So to create a tunnel, actually we need something this very beautiful tool, ngrok. What it does is give you public IP capability similar to any other service, any public IP. It is very simple. You can also create a static app. You can just add it, install it. Very beautiful. What it does, it actually expose your Jenkins server to the outsider world, so that your GitHub can listen to it. What we'll do, we are going to just copy it. We will be just paste it here. And here in our case, as our Jenkins server is listening or on 8080, which we always can, uh, PS PSOX. Oh, it is a bit too much. We can always grip it. Jenkins. And let us see that, okay, here you can see that Jenkins is always running port 8080. Jenkins is running on your port 8080, and what you can do is that I can paste this one and say 8080 here, and HTTP is my right now HTTP is my service here, and I hit this, boom, cool. Here you can see that this is my public IP or my public address, and it's automatically mapped to my 8080 localhost where my Jenkins server is running, right? And which is great thing. Now I again go to where I go. I go to my webhook. I just do this. I make this available, and Now I'm connected to app, and when I come back here, I can see it here that very great. My application is triggered on the polling, which means that I'm good to go. Then I say, okay, go to my build step. I have already previously added this into my environmental variable from the system. You go to dashboard, you go to system, you could add Maven as a tool. Just I refer back to your previous video if you don't know about this stuff. How to add path variable into the system level global system level of Jenkins, and I say my goal is to compile, and I say save. And this is one of my build job pipeline. And second, similar, I go to the new, I hit name, okay, and I come here and I get the second test pipeline. Now the important thing to see here is that this is also Git-based source code, but I am saying that please only trigger this job when my build job is finished and completed, and if it is stable means that it is successful. So that's how I kind of link my jobs together. I said that when the build is finished, build is nothing to build a Java application, and when it gives you a target source, then please test it. When you are able to test it, and then please go to the final project. It's again test. Go to the package job, and in the package job, actually, please go to the configure, and please again the source is the same, but when test is finished, please build this. And similarly here, I am saying that please my goal is package. Very well, cool. This is again a very good step. So what we have done, we have build over project, we have test over project, we have package over project. This is the normal step, but now comes a real twist where I need two more jobs. One job is to build a Docker image out of it. And Docker image means that where my application is going to live, where all the logic of my application is going to live. This is very important here. And if I go to configure here, you can see everything is just normal, and it also trigger automatically when my package is finished. This is also good, but here I want to push this to my Docker hub. What I do first, I go to here, I go to write a Docker file, and let me make it a little bit more bigger and beautiful. What I want to do here, I want to just pull a official Tomcat image 9. Tomcat is nothing, as I have already explained. This is needed to run the Java-based application on the web browser. Then this is Catalania home is nothing but Tomcat way of naming it to the environment. And then I'm saying that please copy ABC technology, because whenever you do it, you clone the repository from the source in the Jenkins, go to the Jenkins present working directory, and then please what you do, copy my path, copy this application .var. .var is nothing but our compile target here, similar to this one here, abc.var, very similar to this application. Please go there and copy this to my home directory. Then please expose 8080. You can write any, any port free, whatever you like, and then you run this Catalania sh to run the Tomcat server. This is something already written to in the Docker file here to run this job. So when we have that Docker file, very great, we push this to our repo, which is nothing but here, which is nothing but here, and this Docker file automatically comes into this here as a Docker file as it is to my file. Then what I do, I go here, I say that please go to my Docker hub repository, which is normally mostly companies use for, to save their, how you call it, images, so that all the team member can use them, right? So this is the normal stuff. So what I done, I have created a username and password. I have created here repository with the name final project Tomcat. I made it public. I really go here, and in my setting, normally account setting, I need token, personal access token as a password. I have created this token here with generate new. I have give access to it, which is good here. And you can just move it here back. And what is happening here, I have created my new credentials from here. And in the credential, what I does, I'm giving this extension so that it knows that what you need to build. In the build environment, I have used this. Simply I went here and I set that bindings in the build environment. Nothing fancy. Where from this binding comes actually, then this is the build step. In the build step, what I'm saying here, that please show me present working directory. Please go to this complete whole path here and copy my final project target.var to the current working directory. Why the current working directory? Because I'm running this in the current working directory, and then I'm saying Docker build my project. So this is what it is happening by now. Up to here, it is actually on this server. This is on Docker server. This is not on Docker. This is on Jenkins, and Docker is installed here. And what it does, it's going to create a new image from the build source. Very simple stuff. Docker build -t tag, and I name it. Then what I want to do here is the very important step. I have add another execution shell here. And in shell, I'm saying that echo docker hub password, because this variable I have set a little earlier in my environment here in the binding setting of the environment, build environment. You can name any random name, and I map this key value pair to my token in my username. This is just a simple stuff here. Then I'm saying that please Docker login username password. Standard input means that whatever standard input gives you here in the echo. This is just Linux command. Echo means that show my password and use this password from the standard input. Cool. And then I'm just doing a simple stuff, Docker push this image and name it latest and whatever. You can tag it anywhere, whatever you want it. Save, cool. Now we have second step. We have created Docker image. We have created base image from the Tomcat here, and we have copy our build or completely packaged .var app to the web app. Web app is a specific directory in the Tomcat which always looks for any new application which it is trying to serve on the web app. Great, that works. And then we are good to go to our next step, which is the complete building pipeline, which is also a very technical one. By now we must have finished with our dev server where we want to deploy stuff. I cannot see it. Sad. And okay, it's giving me a cursor. Might be I took a little bit longer here. Let us do it once more very quickly, so that you have to give, Okay guys, this is our virtual machine number 1, which is actually, let's say like that, server number 1. So here our development server is running, and here we got another server. These two servers we have right now, and what we can do is that we can open them parallel here to just get a feeling of it, right? So right now on dev server, where we want to run our application, in the end we have created Kubernetes, which is necessary for our setup, because all the resources we want to run are on Kubernetes. Then we have also deinstalled or untainted this, because in principle or fundamentally Kubernetes protect the control node, or where your server is running, to directly issue command due to security purpose. This is not happening normally. Normally you have another virtual machine which is connected to your master, and in the master node you have different API server, control node, etc, database, scheduler, and network manager, and everything, which actually ultimately deploy your resources to the node. But for test purposes, we have just configured it, and we have made sure that everything is up and running on this machine with respect to Kubernetes. The next thing is that this is our Jenkins server, which is master here, and this is our actually dev server. As you can see here, the name is dev server here. Okay, it's again gone off the grid. Okay, so this is that, and what you do is that you create a SSH key pair between these two. How you do it? That I'm here in the terminal. Here I'm gonna write keygen here. As simple as that. A key pair, and this key pair I'm going to add ultimately in this SSH authorized keys. So we do this, and then we are good to go. Okay, as you can see that we were able to create SSH keygen. We have added this key here, and now we are able to SSH into it. And if you just SSH root the IP address, which we have gotten from here, and you can see that I'm getting into this machine, which is same here, and this is same here. I can press exit, and I am back to the master node, which is our Jenkins server. Now the key value pair is done. The only step you needed to do is that we just what we did. We here add SSH keygen TRSA. This is the RSA, like algorithm for creating this hashing function. This key we have created, we get this, we copy this, we add into the authorized key pair in the .ssh folder here. As you can see here that we have added this into the authorized key pair here. Simple stuff. This double arrow means that please append this this file here, which reside inside .ssh always. Normally by default .ssh folder of the root. Now we have created the key value pair for both of this, and now we have tested this with help of SSH connection, which is working together. This is great. This is good. Kubernetes is working on our development server, and now we are good to actually create again this. So let me just again create that reverse proxy which engine rock, because it was stopped, and then we'll try the hook mechanism of this whole stuff, that how it is working. Great. Let's do some final checkup here. This is the so what we have done, we have already, configure our master server where our Jenkins is running, which is good, and we have configured our server where we want to deploy our app. Here is the final deploy version, which I also want to show you, but before that, I was trying to show you this one before. And you get upstream projects always mean that which project this is based on. So Here we have done pretty much nothing. We have just added environmental variable, and we have just clone over and given over Docker registry, which is DockerHub in our case, and this step is good. So the next step is when we have configured our Docker image, this image, whatever we want to do with it. So this is upstream and downstream project, means that which is the previous project based on which is trigger, and what is the next project based on this trigger. So this is mean by this upstream and downstream project, which is good. And last thing, which is very important here, final project deploy. So this configuration is very important to understand, because here actually everything remains same. We want to pull it from the source here, which is good. The build trigger means that whenever our Docker build is finished and successfully deployed, please start this job. Then some build execution. Here I wanted to just check that, okay, on my terminal, what's going on here and what is happening in the present working directory. Because our project, if I show it here, the tree is something like that. Our files are like in the ABC, and this is our home. And in the home folder, we have deployment.file. So for that reason, actually, what we have done here, that we have given the relative path of the playbook, wherever the playbook are living. What you do, you install a plugin. In plugin name is Ansible, just simple Ansible. And when you install this plugin on your build step, you see something, this plugin like that. In your build step, you are able to invoke the playbook. Here is the path of the playbook, which is relative to your clone repository simply. So this is always relative to that. And then deployment host file. If I show you these, I could also show you this. For example, if I go my repositories, and then if I go to the industrial scale, so it is better to see it here. So that's what I'm talking about. So this is the home. That's what Docker or Jenkins clone into any certain folder. And here my deployment files are. And in the deployment file, I have deployment.yaml, Docker playbook, and Kubernetes playbook. This is the Ansible playbook, because we are using Ansible as a configuration management tool to deploy our services. This is nothing fancy. I will get to that little bit later. But for now, you want to know that these are the files actually. Okay, and this is similarly the host, and this is the playbook. We have given these two paths. And then here it want to tell us that which are the username and password of your machine where you want to deploy it. Here I'm giving it root, because for simplicity purpose I'm giving it root, but normally you write your playbooks in the way that you do, like become true or become is equal to yes, which means that please take a sudo rule which is equal to the root. In the end, there is not much difference. Whatever credential you add from the system control level setting here on the dashboard, it is appear or visible here, and you can just select them. I have multiple of them. This is for Docker IO, Docker registry, and this is for the root. I'm selecting the root because that's how this is my root here has configured with that. Nothing fancy, everything good. I can just minimize it. Oops, minimize from here. And now, great. This is the invocation number 1. By the invocation number 1, I mean that please run this playbook in the first build step. And second, SSH level invoke invincible playbook. What I am doing here is that I am simply running the Kubernetes playbook, which I have shown you here the second time. This is Docker first time, and this is Kubernetes second time. Why? Because I want to say that please deploy my pod and services to there. If you want to know about the what is pod, what is service, how to create them, please refer back to my previous videos where I have given in detail overview of the Kubernetes. But here the purpose is to completely automate this process. Here again, credential will be same, and we just save it. So now, for example, let's see what's happening when we really push something on our repository. Okay, everything should start automatically. First, this should start, then this should start as a test, then this package should start, then Docker push should start, and in the end, deploy should start. And if everything goes well, we should able to, or we will be able to see our complete, let's say like that, we should be able to see our complete, you know, application running into the browser when we write ABC technology in either of the server, because this is local networking, this is public IP. Normally that's how domain works, and we should be able to do that. So let us go into, for example, any certain developer. Okay, before doing that, if you want to quickly check that what are these files, it is nothing simple, nothing fancy. What it does, it simply say that name of my host is dev, and this is the IP address of my dev actually, which you normally in the Ansible configuration you always add your group of the server, and here the group item number 1, item 2, item 3. Here item number is 1 is same, which is dev here. Ansible host is the module or the command name. You cannot change it. Here I'm giving the root user and password. If I'm using the Ansible plugin in my Jenkins, I don't even need this. This is just extra for now, but I could also simply add this IP address of my machine. This IP address is coming from here. And as you can see, this IP address is nothing but this IP address of my dev server where I want to apply this setting. That's that. So if you want to get into this is Docker file, which means that just pulling this image and copying everything, whatever var I built in my file to here. This is needed to be deploy. Then comes Docker pull. It is doing nothing. It is just getting this community.docker.image module, which is written in the Python, which says, okay, what name you wanna keep, latest pull. And it is simply pulling the image from the remote Docker repository. And why it is standardized practice? It is very standardized practice that normally whatever whoever writes this Docker file, normally they push them to the centralized registry, which is docker.io in our case. Might be it is something different for the enterprise level, but most of the enterprises using the DockerHub. And now for every developer, DevOps engineer, you don't have to call your developer and say, okay, where is this thing? Rather, this Docker file normally attach as it is to the Git repo, which means that you either can build it your own, or you can just, if you want to build it, and if you don't want to build it, just pull it from your organization or your enterprise repository, central repository, where it should be available by the developer upload. So now it's what it's doing is just pulling it. Then comes the Kubernetes file here. It is also very simple. What it does, it says that please do deployment on the host. Please clone this repository in the root folder, root project final folder. And then please apply this manifest, which is kubectl apply pod, create pod please. kubectl simply apply file service, create services, and create deployment. That's all. This is just simple bash shell. As you can see here, bulletin shell, which means that simple shell command, but these shell command are on the remote server, not this server. And great. So let's add something into the README. Testing complete pipeline pipe pipeline automation here. So this is when we save it, let's say like that, we come here, we say that testing the pipeline. I commit it, I sync the changes. I already configured this repository. Here you can see I have done many different upload. This should be up by now. As we can see that this is just up by now. And we should already able to see the changes on our development server. This is our Jenkins server. If I refresh it, it should be able to, here you go. In 13 seconds, it's already done, everything done. This test is running already. This job is already finished in 13 seconds, build number 20. This job is running right now, which is good. And if we go to the hook, it says that, okay, great, Nginx already received the hook some minutes ago, which is already great thing. And it's already running the pipeline. Might be pipeline is running for quite some time. But if we want to see it, what's happening, we can always see it. Okay, it's taking a bit time because I don't know why, but yeah, it's fine. And in the next step, actually, we'll also do some monitoring stuff, which is also very cool sometime. Okay, it's taking a little bit more time. Refresh. Cool. It looked like that our packaging is also finished here 1 minute ago. It looked like that our final deployment is finished this 50 seconds ago, and everything is completed and our pipelines works fine. In best case scenario, we should be going to over this server here, and we should be able to see our service is deployed and running. kubectl get all. Kubectl get all. Wow. Okay. So there's something wrong with it, which means that might be it is not able to pull the image because might be it is latest or whatever in our deployment file, but at least we are able to see some stuff and our pipeline is working cool and fine. So now next step is just please see what is the problem here, and kubectl describe. And what you need to describe, you need to, this thing always give me a, please describe this. Okay, so here is the problem, which means that it is not untainted. Our stuff is tainted, which means that this is master node. I mean, this is the master and they're not workers. So the possible solution that we need to untaint this first. So let us just untaint this and come back again. Okay, we have some problem with the disk actually. As you can see that there is some disk pressure and Kubernetes is automatically trying to curb this. So this is the problem that we have very small disk space here and with small configuration, which might be I cannot overcome, but we can also give it a try. But yeah. Okay, now actually this is the little bit of problem, but at least you already understood the whole mechanism. This is the great thing. We can also try once more the final deploy. We don't need to just trigger everything again, but since we have under a little bit of disk pressure, which means it's automatically tented it, and let us give it one more try. But after all, everything concept-wise, you know. Yeah, it's still not resolved. Maybe, yeah, now you can see that it's not able to really run it, but evicted, which means that it's not able to run it because of this problem. But okay, I can describe one of the port here, and it would say that the resources are not available, right? Disk pressure. Okay, no problem. We have a little bit disk pressure here, which means that we need to recreate VM with higher configuration and more disk. I don't have much disk actually available on my system as well. This is kind of just for the showcase purpose. But that's how your whole complete setup should look like. So let me just do one thing, that go to the VirtualBox and increase a little bit of disk space here, like maybe I could do it, and then maybe it's untolerated already. So the next step here after this whole stuff is to run the Prometheus and Grafana, which is actually the monitoring tool. Nothing much fancy here, but yeah, this is to be done already as well. Okay, guys, that leads us to the end of the tutorial because we are in the little bit of disk pressure and we cannot move forward. But at least you have seen this whole pipeline from just pushing up to the complete end and complete deployment. And if there wasn't a disk issue, we could just run this or test this application in your browser from the IP address of this, and with this ABC technology, when we run, we could see a dashboard, complete dashboard here. So in the next someday, we'll be setting the complete tutorial regarding this Grafana and Prometheus. It is not very hardcore requirement. The main setup or main stuff is already done. So we have shown you all the DevOps tools and technology from just start with from GitHub. And we have recorded the video session for each and every module. We have covered by now almost the 8 different modules, how stuff works with respect to security, with respect to each and everything. So that was the final video where I have shown how you can automate the complete setup up to the automation to your dev server. This dev server could be multiple, from dev, test, tag, and then production, whatever. And in the one go, it's going to add everything from this here. So that's how actually in the reality these all services look like, and this is in the reality how you actually build your pipelines and automate them. As you have seen that I just have change here, and I just click this button, commit and sync, and up to this complete deployment of my Kubernetes stuff is shown to my server. So that is the magic actually, that is the beauty of the CI/CD. And in the reality of this setting, that's how you completely build these pipelines and achieve the automation from CI to the CD. Thank you very much for watching. And in the coming up tutorial might be, I will be doing some more stuff, more cool stuff, more AI and LLM related stuff too. Stay tuned. And if you think that you had some value out of this video, please like and subscribe and share. This is just small help for me for me be able to create more video like that. Thank you very much. Bye.